Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I'm Mai, a Colombo Australian woman living in Melbourne, passionate about all things bookish. Welcome to day number 5 of BOOKMAS. Today is all about books that I have acquired in the last couple of months. I'm not gonna get into the detail of each of the books, but just the name and my expectations very quickly. Let's just start with the biggest pile, which is fiction. The first one here is Meg Wolitzer, The Wife, quite short. I don't know if this is a novella. Then we have an author that I cannot wait to read more of, and it's Fred Backman with Beartown. I don't know much about this book. I know that this is an autobiography for me. Everything that he does is amazing. I read Man Called Ove and I love it. So I don't know, high expectations for this one. Then we have one that is kind of it's a modern classic, I guess, but I never read it, and it's Memories of a Geisha by Arthur Golden. Next one is The Recovery of Rose Gold by Stephanie Roble, and this is all based on the true story of Rose, who is a child suffering from Plexus Munchausen, something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's basically her mom was convinced that she was sick, like the daughter, and she made sure to keep it sick, and she was taking her to all these specialists, and she had many operations, and she was awarded by the Children Foundation and all that, but in reality she wasn't sick. This is the fiction story. Then we have another Swedish author that I actually read in the past. He wrote The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out of the Window and Disappeared, and I found it funny. And this guy, Jonas Jonasson, has written a lot of books, and this is one that I found in the op shop. Then for my birthday, my mom gave me this book, The Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. It is so hype, and I know I'm gonna love this book. This is a 5 out of 5, probably a possible 5 out of 5. Then we have Paulo Coelho and the Zaire. I haven't read this one. I have read many of Paulo Coelho's books, and the best one, if you ask me, is 11 Minutes, and I'm keen to keep reading all his books. Here we have The Silk House by Katie Nunn, and she's a very well-known writer. I think this is a historical fiction, but I may be wrong. It takes place in a boarding school, a 150-year-old mystery, but it's all about the Alk of Silk. Then we have this book that I've been looking forward to read it for so long. Rodham by Curtis Sittenfeld. What would happen if Hillary Clinton wouldn't have married Bill Clinton? So where would she be in political history? So it's very interesting. Then we have another one from the charity shop, The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. It is a bestseller, New York bestseller. Then we have an Australian author, Craig Silvey, the Australian author. He also wrote Jasper Jones, which was a very hype book that I haven't read. It's somewhere in my TBR, and it's called Honeybee. It's about a teenager and an adult man who crosses paths when they are about to commit suicide at a bridge, and how the relationship starts there, and how they learn from each other, and the reasons why they were willing to take their own lives that night. Then we have Anxious People by Fred Backman. This book was released this year, and it's included in my 2020 releases that I didn't get to read, but I really want to read a video. So if you haven't watched that video, I will link it in the card up above, or in the description box. And this is about a bank robbery that is taking place in Sweden, and the criminal mastermind holding these 7 strangers hostage is the one who will need a rescue at the end of the day. And then we have There Is No Such Thing as an Easy Job by Kikuko Tsumura, and it's a translated book from Japanese. It's about burnout, a masterpiece of a book about the working world, The Unlikely Adventures of the Chergill Sisters by Bali Kahu Jaswal. And this year I read erotic stories for Punjabi women, and I love that book, so I'm quite keen to read this one. Then historical fiction, we have Hamnet. This is about, I think it's about 2 siblings. One of them gets sick and parents, I think they are in a really poor situation and they know that one of them is gonna die anyway. Then we have, because who doesn't want to read this one if they haven't already, and it's Christian Hannah and her book, her most recent release, The Nightingale. It's about two sisters in World War II, separated by years, and they have different experiences, ideals, passions, and circumstances. So it is being adapted to a movie, and I can't wait to read it and watch it. Now let's cover the pile for YA and rom-com and that softy type of books. One of my best friends from work, Eva, and is the Christina Lauren in a holidays this year. I read The Honeymooners and I loved it, so I can't wait to read this. Then today, just before I recorded this video, I got in the mail this rom-com. It's Been a Pleasure, Noni Blake by Claire Christian. I'm not sure, like I think it's about a girl who after many years with her boyfriend, they break up and she's 36 and she decides to take advantage of her life and she decides to just go around the world and chase the one who got away. Then we have Get a Life, Chloe Brown. It's meant to be really funny. It's about a girl who has a almost quite close to death experience. It's like, what am I doing with my life? Oh my goodness, I have to improve. For the YA part, we have Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. I'm a huge fan of Alice Oseman. I love Heartstoppers. I have also to be read Loveless, and yeah, so I'm gonna read Radio Silence. I found it at a thrift shop, so very lucky me. We have The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnett. I don't know much about this book. I just know that it's kind of similar to The Hunger Games, but instead of life and death situation is rich and poor situation. Lord of the Flies by William Golding. Actually never read this book and I really want to, so I got it for my birthday because I cannot be the only human who hasn't read The Lord of the Flies. Then by recommendation of Haley in Wonderland, I got The Opposite of Always by Justin A. Reynolds. Apparently it's a really good novel in terms of very different, and it's about a teenager that meets a woman or another girl, and he falls in love, or they are having like a nice relationship, and she dies, and he is capable to live like in a Greyhound kind of day scenario, and he's trying to save her life. And then I found this one in the charity shop that I actually didn't know existed, and it's by Emma Donoghue. I love Emma Donoghue, but I didn't know she wrote a children's book, and it's called The Lotteries Plus One, and it's illustrated by Caroline Hidalak-Sono. And I don't know much about this, but it's an illustrated book, and it's, of course, it's a children's book, so it's quite easy. It's meant to be easy to read. It has illustrations. I just got it because it was $1, so why not? In terms of thrillers, I actually only have 3 of them. The first one, The Girl Before, Everything That's Yours Was Once Hers by J.P. Delaney. Again, for thrillers, I actually don't like to read what they are about because normally they spoil half of the book. So for thrillers, I most likely just go by cover or recommendations on BookTube. And then another one from the charity shop, Nikki French and Killing Me Softly. Another one from J.P. Delaney, The Perfect Wife, which is the same author as The Girl Before. And actually, the covers are very similar. So I have 3 classics here that I bought from the charity shop and I want to read. Charles Dickens and A Christmas Carol and Other Christmas Writings. Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. And actually, I think I already have this one somewhere. And Gabriel Garcia Marquez and The Chronicle of a Death Foretold. Actually, I got this from the little library near my house. But I actually want to read this in Spanish, so in the original. This is in English. I don't know why I grabbed it then. I have to return it. Now let's move to fantasy, sci-fi. I was a very huge fan of Twilight when it was released. I read all the books, I watched all the movies. Browsing the charity shop, I found this by Stephanie Meyer, The Short Second Life of Britannia, an Eclipse novella. I never heard of this and I was very curious. It's only $1. So I'm gonna read it because it's short. I'm not gonna be wasting a lot of my time like with the Stephanie Meyer Midnight Sun that is like 800 pages. I'm not gonna do that to myself. Then I thought I was buying book 1 or 2 of the Sarah J. Maas trilogy, and I actually was buying number 2 and number 3. Then we have the Midnight Library Matt Haig, and I can't wait to read this one. I think this is gonna be my next book during this break to read. It's a book about books. One library, infinitive lives, all the decisions that you took in your life and how different your life will be if you have made a different choice. Then from V.E. Schwab we have The Dark Vault, The Archive, and The Unbound novels, and all of them, so the 2 books in one. I don't know what it's about, but I read The Invisible Life of Adila Rue and I loved it. I also read Vicious and I actually enjoyed it. It wasn't a 5 out of 5, but it was good. So I'm keen to read more of this author, and she can write, so we know that. And then we have the trilogy by R.F. Kuang, and it's the Poppy Word trilogy. I haven't read any of the 3, but I'm happy that I can read them all. Everyone in BookTube is raving about how good the 3rd book is, The Burning God. So I'm keen to get started with this. And then to close off this video, this very, very short video, let's go through the non-fiction books that I have acquired in the recent months. This one, the Book Lovers Quiz book, because who doesn't love Trivia Night? I love it, even if it's just me trying to... Ooh, bless you. Even if it's just me trying to guess the answers, this is a trivia book all about bookish questions, and it's amazing. And then in a Chris Kringle, I got The Art of Happiness, the Handbook for Living by the Dalai Lama. Very keen to start reading it. I need some wisdom in my life for the year ahead. Then I was watching one of my new recent fan booktubers, and her name is Katie, and she recommended, or she said that this is the best true crime non-fiction book she read this year, and Rule the Stranger Beside Me, and it's about, like, it's all about Ted Bundy. Then in a, I don't know, I'm not sure why I bought this one, James Comey, Higher Loyalty. I watched the Stan adaptation, the Stan series, that it was all about the Comey rule, and I found it fascinating. Found fascinating everything that happened and how it happened. And then in my charity shop, I found this book, and I didn't even know existed. It's Mamma Mia memoir. So it's by Mia Freeman. Mia Freeman is one of my favorite podcasters out there at the moment. She's a queen. Another memoir, Hunger by Roxane Gay. It's all about her relationship with food. And I found it very interesting because I struggle with that relationship too, so can't wait to read it. And then the last 3 books I want to share today are 3 books that I'm really, really excited about it. But also, I don't know when I'm going to read them, but it's the trilogy from Stephen Fry. So we have Methods, Heroes, and the latest one, Troy. For those of you who don't know, my full name is Mariana Elena Medina. So Helena or Elena is my second name. And actually Elena is because of Helen of Troy. And that's it. Those are all the books I recently acquired, bought, got gifted, and they are now part of my TBR. I think I have more than 200 books in my TBR. In my physical TBR, I'm gonna say. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, I'm doing BOOKMAS. This is day 5, and I have a very interesting video coming to you tomorrow. It's a reading vlog of this weekend when I get a bookish tattoo. So you have to tune to see it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Thanks, Eva, for my Mac. Subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed. So follow me on socials, and I will see you tomorrow.